Nothing worse than watching your loved one get ripped through the wall and squished like a grape in your town square. What's up, Meta Nerds? This video is all about the UATT Walker, aka the Urban Assault Triped Transport. It has some really cool new features, and the First Order used these in a truly terrifying way. And unlike the ATST, this one may have actually been a transport. This new walker was manufactured by Kuat and Tralla, the same people that made the M6 and Capital ships for the First Order, which was a merger of the centuries-old company Kuat Drive Yards that made all the Republic and Imperial walkers. Its cost is unknown, but with a height of 6.52 meters or 21 feet, it was about 2/3 the height of an ATST, and nearly twice the height of the ATRT. As for its top speed, it was tied with the ATST at 90 km per hour or 56 miles per hour, making it about 1.5 times the ATT. Due to automation advancements, the crew is now down to just one, removing the co-pilot/gunner that we see in the predecessor, all while increasing the amounts of blaster cannons. There was this chin-mounted double laser cannon with targeting sensor array right underneath, and this weapons cluster on the side of the cockpit, containing a heavy blaster cannon and 2 light repeater cannons. On the other side of the cockpit was the spotlight, but of course the main event here is the CAP-5 activator arm. It can tuck up underneath the walker when not being used, but whenever the path was blocked by debris or dissidents, the UATT could handle it. The First Order went towards more specialization with their walkers, increasing the size of the AT-AT with the AT-M6, but making the UATT smaller than the AT-ST. When the First Order wanted to take control of a city without leveling it, they couldn't send in the huge guerrilla walker. But in dense urban areas, this triped walker would be able to stomp around without leveling the whole block. If civilians try to set up a blockade, the arm could easily pull it apart while still laying down fire, which was strong enough to be deadly to personnel, especially with that heavy laser cannon that could punch through any armor and overwhelm a personal energy shield, without having the missiles or grenades of the ATST that might just blow down the whole building. You also see that it's an armored passenger cabin with this entry hatch for FO stormtroopers to deploy from. It seems like you could probably fit around 6 troopers in this area. And this is a bit of speculation, but I think a lot of these design features point to an interesting way that these troops would enter and exit. See how it has these digitigrade legs that bend backwards, and we know that this top part can rotate 360 degrees. Seeing how this armored hood of the passenger section slopes down, when this walker were to sit down as low as it can, and then rotate the top completely around, the hood would come down to meet the claw arm. Perhaps the troops could climb up the hand and arm, over the hood and into the hatch, while the walker could still be facing the enemy laying down covering fire. Objectively, maybe not a brilliant way to do it, but surprisingly more reasonable than a lot of other vehicles in this galaxy. This armored hood also acts as a great way to protect the vulnerable power cells from any top-down attacks that you might expect in a dense urban environment, or from an incoming fighter or gunship. When occupying a hostile city, the trooper squadron would often escort on foot alongside this walker. The armored top would protect the walker, while these extra pieces of riot armor on the limbs would protect the troops. Escorted by these troops on the ground meant that you had protection from the rear and the sides, and could provide quick eliminations to any resistance that might run up with an explosive, as running out of an alley and lobbing a sticky detonator onto the underside is the biggest threat to this walker. But it also has a psychological trick up its sleeve. Few things would be as terrifying as having this arm smash through your residence and rip you into the grip of the First Order. But to terrify all of your neighbors into submission, they would bring dissidents out into public places, parade them through the streets held high up in this claw, and either read off your crimes before hauling you away, or, more often, they would simply execute you on the spot, crushing you in the UATT's grip, juicing you into the public square as an example for your entire community. That's actually the dark extra part to that street-level escort. The FO Stormtrooper Blaster, the F-11D, has a stun mode like most rifles, and so they could easily paralyze a whole crowd if they were deemed to be inciting a riot, at which point the UATT got to play the galaxy's darkest version of the claw game. All of these tactics were used to subjugate the previously lawless Kijimi City. So that's it for the UATT, but you definitely want to hear these cool facts and behind-the-scenes stuff. The FO was inspired to make this vehicle from the design of the AT-AP, but instead of a long-range cannon, they wanted something that could work more like a SWAT van. Comparisons to those other walkers comes from the Encyclopedia of Starfighters and Other Vehicles, while the UATT details come from the Rise of Skywalker Visual Dictionary. So that's it for the Urban Assault Triped Transport. If you want to connect with us on social media, find ways that you can help support this channel for free, or check out our Patreon to see all the exclusive stuff, be sure to check out the links in the description. Special shout out to our supporters over on Patreon, but most important of all, remember, you can support the resistance, but try not to get you and your neighbors juiced. And the Force will be with you, always.